Greetings. I'm still responding to the lies from Walid Shoebat. He said in his video how we all worship the same God. Carry a sign and you say Jehovah is God and go into Mecca and see how long you will live. Well, the first thing I would like to say to this Shoebat, no, we don't worship the same God. But forget about Muslims for a second. They worship Allah. They know what Allah is. But let's look at Christians. The vast majority of Christians say, we worship the God of the Jews. Jews say that they worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Very well. Now, if we look in a comparison between the Old Testament and the New Testament, in the New Testament, they say God is love. In the New Testament, Paul said, is God the God of the Jews only? Or he is God of everyone else? In the New Testament, God dies for our sake. They crucified their God. This is the worst miserable nation in history ever. No other nation crucifies its God like the Christians did. They put their God on the cross like a criminal. Now let's see the Jewish God in the Old Testament. I'm not talking about the true Lord. The true Lord is found in Islam only. But I'm talking about the fiction God that those two worship, Jews and Christians. The Jewish God is the God of the Jews only. Christians say he is God of everyone, even the Christians. The Jewish God, read, for example, one example from the whole book, the book of Joshua. Orders the killing and the massacre of innocent people, children, women, elderly, with the edge of the sword, and burning the villages and stealing, everything valuable. Based on an order of God. In the New Testament, 1 John, God is love. In the Old Testament, God is one and there is no other. Many times repeated, He is one. He is one. Those idiots who don't know math, one is one, three is not one, and under any case. You come to the New Testament, they say, God is three in one. Not in the New Testament, by the way. It is not in the book, no. No. And this verse, in the book of John, it has been removed and removed and added, but you cannot find in the whole New Testament 22 books, one verse that says, for God is three in person, but one God. Not one time. You find this evil, rotten Trinity idiocy. It's non-biblical. And I challenge, you have my video. Under it, there is a box with my email address. You can send me. Prove it to me. If you can prove it, I will turn into Christianity. I will convert immediately. Not one verse from Jesus saying, I am God. Worship me. They keep turning around and playing games. Look at the Magi, the Satan worshippers, how they bowed and worshiped Jesus. Look at one of the disciples who didn't believe that Jesus, is resurrected. He said, oh, my God, my Lord and my God, out of shock. Not saying that this man is Lord and God. They play around with evil, twisting the verses in a rotten way to prove that Jesus is God. But he is not. They are lying. So no, they don't worship the God of the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the Jews worship. Even if you go to all the synagogues in the world, the houses of worship for the Jews, ask all the Jews, do you worship Jesus Christ? The answer is obvious. No, they don't. Then how Jews who worship the God of the Jews do not worship the God of the Christians? And you say that, we don't worship the same God? Of course we don't. Not even Muslims worship Jesus. He is one of the mighty, he is one of the great in Islam, but he is not a God for worship. Period. Even Muhammad is not God for worship, as you lie in your videos. Well, some Muslims, may worship Muhammad, but they are not ordered to do it, like the Sufi. Some people worship Ali and Hussein, like the Shia, but they are not ordered to do that. They are doing it out of the evil temptation of their hearts. Worship is for Allah only, according to Islam, not according to the Muslims. There is a great difference. Now he said a very stupid sentence, لا يتعبد إلا بتلاوته. I don't understand it. I'm not going to respond to it, but it's not in Islam anyway. It's a lie. There is nothing called لا يتعبد إلا بتلاوته. Okay. Islam is one government world using the oil. Well, I wonder, did Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam knew about the oil in Arabia? Okay, sorry. All right. Well, maybe he did. This Shoebat, claims that he did. Now, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, before his death, he had close Sahaba. We call them disciples, we call them companions. He did not assign anybody to rule after him or to take care of the people after him. Abu Bakr, the first Khalifa, came based over a debate among the Muslims, the close Muslims. They chose Abu Bakr. Then they chose Umar. Then they chose Uthman, Khilafat. And then they chose Ali. And then the problem started. Those who claim Khilafat today is not an order from Allah in the Noble Quran. Those stupid ISIS, Abu Bakr, the Khalifa, this jerk, this evil, rotten individual, it's not an order from Allah to create Khilafah on earth. And guess what? I tell all Muslims the bad news, the facts. You will never have Khilafah. Stop having evil dreams. Because you are not going to work against what Allah said. You're not going to invent and expect Allah to help. Khilafah is not an order in the Quran or the way of Islam. It just happened after the Prophet, we had those Khalifas, the Sahaba. That's fine, because we needed somebody to rule, to put order. And they chose Abu Bakr, Umar, and Uthman, and Ali. And that's the end of the story. But that doesn't make it a rule, a law, a Quran, a hadith. Nothing. It's not a must, especially with those evil rulers in the Muslim world. Good luck to have one country. Okay, he says that, Islam does not, speaking about the Antichrist in the Bible, does not honor the desire of women. Who does not honor the desire of women? Who does not care about women rights? In Islam, women have the right to testify in court. No, this is a lie. This is a stupid lie. In the end of the second chapter in the Quran called Al-Baqarah, at the very end, before the very end, the last page, before the last page, it speaks about if two people, one borrowed money to do some business, and they say, Allah say, write it down, like the West, today, which is right. put it in writing. This is what Allah said. This is Islamic rule, adopted in the West. Put it in writing. And bring 2 witnesses, male witnesses. But if you cannot find 2 good male witnesses, then 1 male and 2 females. That doesn't make that the female half a witness, as he tried to insinuate with his lack of understanding. No. Quran was specific. Why 2 females? 1 male and 2 females. He said because if one of them forget, the other will remind. The other woman would remind her. And in our brains, the woman